Hola mi gente, welcome to another episode of Sazon Sessions. I am your host, Amanda Panda, Amanda Ashley, whatever you want to call me. Well, not whatever, because I ain't gonna be like, I'm not gonna accept like yo bitch, because I'm gonna fuck you up. But you could call me Amanda Panda, you can call me Amanda Ashley. Um, I do not know what number episode we are on, but today is going to be a little different because I am actually doing an episode by myself. And it's not going to be a long episode. It's going to be nice, sweet. Well, not sweet. It's going to be a little crazy, but it's just like I wanted to try to do like little story times or just like talk about a specific topic just like by myself. I actually recorded something a long time ago by myself. I was in a mood and I had the topic and I was just like, I feel like recording today. But this was back in June and I don't really feel like dropping it because it was so long ago. And I did, like, I said stuff about like the Puerto Rican festival and like all this other stuff. And I was like, I don't think you guys want to hear that stuff because it's from like June. But if you do, let me know and let me know what you think about these little short scenario thingies that I'm gonna be trying to do if you guys like it. But today is 9/11, and I decided to do something today because I remember a little girl and 9/11 happened, and I was actually talking to um, a really good friend of mine's about because he was saying like like so many things happened after 9/11, and it's just like it's so true, but that year was actually a very chaotic year for me. And for those that were alive during 9/11, like I remember being in my elementary school. I was actually in my fifth grade class with Mr. Richmond, and we heard about like the Twin Towers. And I remember I started crying because I knew that my stepdad had worked down there, like with my grandfather and everybody else, like not in the building, but he worked in plumbing around that area. So I was like freaking out and all this other stuff. And we didn't have cell phones. So we couldn't like text like our family members, like, are you okay? Like, I remember, I think after 9/11, I had gotten like a small Virgin mobile phone, and texting was not a thing. And of course, we had minutes. So, yeah, you weren't able to use it like that. But, anyways, I remember being afraid, and my grandma came to pick me up. And oh, I kept asking her, was mi papa, mi papa? Like, what about my dad? And we didn't have cell phones, so we didn't even know if they were okay or anything because we kind of had to wait to if they came home or not, or whatnot. But here's a little deep, crazy story about my life. So, January of 2001, I had taken a vacation. I actually went in December, but we extended our time to January something. I don't remember what date. But I was in El Salvador with my stepdad and my grandfather, which is his dad. Um, and that's it. I don't think my little brother went that year. I can't remember. I was like 11 years old, 10 or 11, one of those two. And we had extended our time because I know it sounds very fucked up, but one of my uncles was being deported to El Salvador, and we just wanted to make sure that he was okay and stuff like that. And so this is actually like our first time seeing him free and stuff like that. So we extended our time. And we decided to go. This is literally like the second day my uncle was out, and we decided to go to this lake called Mahahual. Sorry, not Mahahual, Huatepeque. Um, and it was a lake that we would always go to. My grandfather knew the family, so they let us like rent their house, and we would just enjoy the freaking lake. And the lake is huge, and you got your little private area and all this other stuff. So Um, my family's in the lake and they're enjoying their time, and I had just finished eating. And you know, as a kid, your kids tell you gotta wait 15 minutes after you eat to like get in the water. So my time was up. I was happy. I put my life vest on, and as I'm walking down the grass, I turn around and all I see is the house was shaking, and I didn't know what was happening. I never experienced this before, so of course I don't know what's happening. So I kind of I get scared and I go back to what's kind of, it looks like a hut. It's just like made with like wood and stuff like that. And like tree bark and all this other stuff. Um, so I go back to this hut type of thing and I just grab onto it. And after that, everything just kept trembling and trembling and trembling. And things are falling right in front of me from the hut and from the house, because the hut and the house weren't that far apart. So everything was just falling right next to me and not hitting me, which is insane because it's literally like if I was under the umbrella and the water is just going over you. And this is what was happening to me. Like everything, all the wood and everything is falling down apart from me. And I don't remember hearing this, but my stepdad says that he was saying, Ashley, like, get out of there. But I don't remember this. What I remember is being really scared and just grabbing out to my dear life from that from the tree bark type of thingy. And then I kind of like I started crying and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And all I remember seeing is like I remember seeing my uncle trying to run from the boardwalk, I believe, type of thing. So it's like a boardwalk that used to lead us to the lake, and he's trying to like run, and it sucks, like everything just collapses into the water and it sucks him in with the in the lake. And then eventually my stepdad gets to me, he grabs me, and literally when he grabbed me, like a piece of wood had just fallen down from where I was standing. This was my first earthquake ever. This was a 7.1 earthquake that happened in El Salvador in the year 2001. um it was really bad. It was crazy. I didn't see this, and I'm actually kind of glad I didn't, because I think I would have been like traumatized and all this other stuff. But um, my grandfather was in the lake and he was trying to get out of the lake. Like, I know this because my uncle had told me and my grandpa had told me eventually. But he was trying to get out of the lake. Like, he was walking towards like the shore, you can say. And every time he tried to get back to the shore, it would suck him back in into like waves in the water. And it was just, he said it happened like 3 or 4 times, and where he thought that he was really going to die because he just was like drowning in all this other stuff. And then eventually, when the waves stopped, he like would float back up because he had the life vest. And it just kept taking him like 3 or 4 times. And, you know, like I said about my uncle, the whole entire um bridge had just like took him in with it, and so all he had was a bunch of like wood falling on top of him, and he couldn't get out until eventually like it stopped happening and he was able to get out of the water, thankfully. But I remember this little girl was there, and she would always like, we would kind of joke around, and we would kind of say like "ya me quiero morir," and that means like I want to, like I just want to die type of thing. And so unfortunately, like that little girl was with us, and she was saying that before we had gotten, like, it was a little joke that we used to do because of an uncle of mine. He used to get drunk and he used to just cry. He was like, I just want to die type of thing. But anyways, so the little girl had like, after this was happening, she started crying and she was just like, Papa Dios, yo no me quiero morir, which just like means like, you know, Father God, like I don't want to die, you know. And it was it was a lot. And sometimes I don't even like really like to think about it, because it's just like, wow, like I could have died, my grandfather could have died, my dad could have died, my uncle could have died. And today, for those of you that know Donna, she was saying like I'm in this page that she has, and she was talking about like what are you grateful for? And I actually went to service today, and they were saying the same exact thing, that sometimes we wake up and we're, so many things are happening all around the world, and sometimes we forget just to take the moment to say, I'm grateful that I have another day of life. um and this is the story I wanted to share about my dramatic experience. Like, I've been through a lot of things, like different car crashes. um I recently got threatened with a gun on the bus. um it's just been a lot of things that I've been through in my life, but this one was as a child. Like, being that 9/11 was 21 years ago, so this happened to me 21 years ago in the month of January. And it's just like, imagine I would have died that day. I wouldn't be here today giving you guys Sazon Sessions and giving you a little story of my life. Like, sometimes we just take a lot of things for granted. And I guess that's what this episode is about. Like, think about a memory that you may have where you're just grateful to still be alive. And for those of you that know me, I actually deal with like suicidal thoughts. I am thankful that therapy has been helping me, and I haven't had a thought in the past 2 years. Um, there are moments where I do feel worthless and stuff like that, but to think about, trying to kill myself and stuff like that, I haven't had those moments in like 2 years. Um, but what are you thankful for? What did you go through that you have to say, like, wow, this happened to me such and such amount of years, or maybe a month ago, and I am still here today? Because I am very, very strong with today. We are here, we do not know what tomorrow may hold. And a lot of times, like, my sisters or anybody is just like, why are you always saying that? And I'm just like, because it's really true. Because you could literally step out of your house and not come back home. And people don't understand that. People just take kind of life for granted. And it's just like, you shouldn't. Be grateful for waking up, being grateful for coming back home from work, because so many stabbings, so many shootings are happening, or so many just people just dying from COVID and stuff like that. Like, I'm so sick of this COVID shit. But, now you got the monkeypox out here in this life, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, what else are we gonna have? But just be thankful for your life. Be thankful that you're healthy and that your family is around. I don't want to get spiritual because I know some people may not believe or anything. Like, for me, I went to service. I actually am just trying to um I'm trying to just fix myself. Like, I do miss church. That's just my personal experience. And especially what I've been going through the past few months, I just have to kind of give my thanks, and I owe it to God. Like, that's just how I personally feel. Like, I'm just like, you've been protecting me for so long, and this is the most I can give as my gratitude of just allowing your protection to be with me. So whatever you believe in, just be thankful. Even if you don't believe in anything, just say thank you, to yourself, that, or I don't know, just to anything. um but that's just my little thing that I wanted to talk about, because I really was just sitting here today, and I was in service, and I was just like, you know what? It's so crazy that so many lives were lost during 9/11, and even after 9/11 with the whole war, and just things that happened after that. We have COVID going on, and how many lives and how many family members have we lost because of COVID? Um, and just be thankful for your life. Don't take it for granted. Appreciate it, value it, And, I'm trying my best to enjoy life. Um, uh, it's been a little rocky with me past few months. I am trying to appreciate life. I am trying to do things that I want to do, but I realized that I invested a lot of time in people and not myself. And that's something that I need to value. I need to value myself. I need to give back to myself because I give to so many people and I don't give back to myself. So even if it's like I try at least every month I'm trying to like treat myself out for dinner or like clothes shopping. That's just something I've been working on lately with myself. I feel like I work my ass off. My job is not easy and I'm sure like other people's jobs is not easy either. But I don't want to spend all my money all the time and just rent and my phone and like personal needs. Like I should take the time and go somewhere that I've always wanted to do. That I've always wanted to go to, and that's really where I've been focused lately is on myself. Like I do feel a little selfish, but I feel like I owe it to myself. I've done so much for people for years, and you don't always get the same credit. And it's not like you expect it, but it's just like sometimes when it comes to you, they're not there for you. And that's where I'm just kind of like, I gotta focus on myself. Like I can't invest anymore on people. I need to focus on me and do me and appreciate my life that I have. Um some of you may know because of my social media, but I was in a cast for like 2 weeks. Worst 2 weeks of my life. But I am okay. I did not break anything. I actually had a cyst growing in my wrist. Every time I say that, I feel like I'm like making a rhyme or something. A cyst in my wrist. But a lot of you may know, I work with children. I was actually working with special needs children before, and it's not an easy job working with special needs kids that especially are the age of 3 to 5. And excuse me, every time I was trying to kind of like manage with one of my students that's, either severely autistic where they're like throwing themselves, and every time I was just kind of like, a lot of sometimes weight helps them. So you try to like embrace them and give them that little, and they're there like swinging and stuff like that. And that cyst would grow and it would be so painful and I could not take it anymore. And eventually, like, because of where it was, it's too close to my artery where I couldn't get it drained. So I had to get it removed through surgery. So that's what I was going through for, with the KS for 2 weeks. Um, but I literally did not enjoy a summer because of that situation. I finished my summer working because when you work with special needs, they need to do 12 months of service, some of them, and some of them are able to do 10 months. But my job is 12 months or 12 months around the year. And we finished 3 weeks before the end of summer or the end of August. So those 3 weeks that I took was basically just to recuperate from my surgery. I was very uncomfortable going outside with my cast on because every time I would sweat, the cast would get itchy and then I'm just like miserable and I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't really move my thumb as much because they were connected. Um, there was just a lot that I was going through and I was miserable those few weeks because I was just like, damn, I should have thought this better. Like, here I am, stuck in the house, can't do anything. Like I could, but I chose not to because one, I didn't want to have a suntan line of the cast. And two, I didn't want to sweat through the cast because then I was gonna be itchy. And then three, I was also in pain. There's a lot happening, okay? And now I'm back at work. My cast is removed. But last week, I think it was Saturday. Who knows? It might have been Saturday or something. No, it was Saturday. Um, I decided to treat myself out for dinner. You know, a girl likes Applebee's. So I went to Applebee's. It's actually close to my house. That's why I also went there, because it was just close to my house and I didn't feel like going far. So I went to Applebee's. I treated myself out. I did not have a drink, but I did have some good food. Um, and it felt better. Then the next day or whatever, and when I got a pedicure, like I tried little small things like that to like self love myself and like value some time for myself. But yeah, um, I'm like rambling now. I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. I am trying to get back into my rhythm of recording. I had an episode recorded with one of my friends, but because of connection and stuff, I am not dropping it. I'm actually gonna re-record that episode again with her. So I would have something like that coming up. I have actually two episodes um in mind with my friend Marisol, that you guys have already seen, Mari, which you guys are going to be seeing a lot of her because I really love how we vibe. So I did ask her to be kind of like a freaking co-host in a way. So whenever I want somebody and I can't get like somebody on, I will be working with her as long as she's available and I'm available. Because let me tell you, recording and having availability is very hard. Okay, I have to be at work at 7:45 now. I have to leave my house exactly 6:30, and if I miss that bus, I am fucked. So, a girl be tired, okay? So recording at night is like really hard for me now because I just be so tired, and I'm trying to get back into the function of being at work. Before I would be at work at 8:15, and now it's like 7:45, and that's not easy. Um, but yes, I'm trying to get back into the function of recording, so please be patient with me. Also, you guys can follow the Sazon Sessions Instagram. You can follow my Instagram at lovelymandy615. Sazon Sessions is just exactly that, Sazon Sessions on Instagram. I also, if you're interested in seeing my like cooking, because a girl likes to cook, I have my TikTok. This I believe is Amanda Ashley 615. My TikTok. I try to do like some Puerto Rican um recipes. I do a little bit of mixed stuff. So I do like Puerto Rican dishes, Italian, Salvadorian, or anything that just kind of pops up to my mind. So you can follow that too. I am also starting to do party planning kind of, where like I do a lot of decorating and stuff like that. So I also have that on my Instagram. I have some party decorations that I've done. I've actually escalated and I started making like chip bags, and what else did I do? Oh, I did the water bottle uh, labels, you can say. Yeah, labels. That's what it is. Um, and I'm growing from there. I have a Cricut now, and I'm planning to do some stuff with that too. So stay alert with that. For those of you that love buying coquito from me, I will be making coquito this year. I believe I'm gonna do it at the second or the last week of October. So stay tuned for that as well. And don't forget to follow the Jabba Tears podcast on Instagram, Facebook, all those good stuff. Um, you know, and thank you for everybody for taking your time and being patient with me for my episodes. And I'm Amanda Panda. Thank you. Bye.